lifters. Okay, so today I just wanted to do a new video just to offer a bit of advice, something that I've learned during my muscle building journey and something that I think will be helpful to beginners. So if you're a beginner and you know you want to start building some muscle and some strength, but you're not sure which exercises to start with, sometimes it can be quite confusing for a beginner. You know, there are so many different exercises. Which ones are the best ones to begin with? And the most common mistake I see people making is to start with and only do isolation exercises. An isolation exercise is one that uses just one main muscle group, and then the opposite would be a compound exercise which uses two or more muscle groups. Examples of isolation exercises would be bicep curls or tricep extension or a lateral raise or leg extension, calf raises, or the kickbacks that I see on Instagram. There's nothing wrong with any of these exercises when done correctly and in the right way. They can be very good and important to help you build a good physique. The mistake that I see people make very often is to start with these exercises and only do these exercises, and it can be quite tempting. I think it seems logical if you want a nice big bicep, so I'll do bicep curls. So I can see why people make this mistake, but the problem is that in the human body there are lots and lots of different muscles. It's not just the ones that look good. So for example, in everyday life, if you do a movement like pulling something towards you, yes, your bicep is involved, but also there are lots of different supporter muscles around your bicep helping you do that movement. So you've got the latimus dorsi here, you've got the rhomboid which secures the scapula, and lots of different small accessory and stabilizer muscles involved in that movement. And the same for a squat. So if you squat down, it's not just the glutes that are involved, it's your hip flexors, it's your quads, and lots of different smaller muscles around the area to support that movement. So if you're only doing isolation exercises, if you're only working on one main muscle group, then the surrounding area can become neglected and it can cause a muscular imbalance. So for example, if you're only doing bicep curls, then yes, you might have the nice big sexy bicep that you're looking for, but the area around it, all the supporting muscles, are not going to develop at the same rate, so they're going to become weaker in comparison. Similarly, if you're only doing the kickbacks, yes, you might get the nice juicy bum that you're looking for, but your quad strength is not going to develop at the same rate. You're not using your hip flexors to the full range of motion, and that can cause a muscular imbalance. And you might be thinking, well, I don't really care about mobility and muscular imbalance, I just want to look sexy. But not only can only doing isolation exercises cause a muscular imbalance and potentially increase your risk of developing injuries because of that later on in life, but also you might be hindering your own progress. So when you're doing an isolation exercise, for example, yes, you're using one main muscle group, but the other muscles surrounding it are involved to a certain extent. So if you're standing doing a bicep curl, yes, it's pretty much mostly your bicep working, but you are having some sort of shoulder engagement, some lat engagement, just to keep your arm steady. So if your body isn't used to engaging those muscles because they haven't had the practice from doing the compound exercises, they're not going to be as well trained. Probably not quite to that extent. If you're doing bicep curls like that, you have bigger problems, don't worry. Anyway, but the point is that those stabilizer muscles, supporting muscles, are going to be lacking strength, and this could mean that you're finding it a bit more difficult to stay in the correct strict form. It could be causing a lack of range of motion, and basically you're just not performing the exercise to its full efficiency. However, if you were to be practicing with compound exercises, practicing your full range of motion, training all of the muscle groups, then you're going to be able to do those isolation exercises more efficiently. So some examples for you. Instead of just starting off with bicep curls, try the compound move of a row. So once you're able to get into a gym, a seated row is really good. If you have some dumbbells, then a one-armed row is really good. If you have a barbell, bent over row, like this. Also lat pull downs, that's really good. So again, once you're able to get into a gym. If you can do pull-ups, then pull-ups are really good as well. For triceps, instead of just tricep extension, try an overhead press if you have a barbell, full extension like this, really controlled. Also chest press, if you're not able to get into a gym for a bench press or a chest press machine. If you have some dumbbells, lie flat on the floor and press upwards. For legs, instead of just the kickbacks or just the leg extension, obviously the basic compound movement for beginners, advanced everything, would be the squat. And also lunges and leg press, again, once you're able to get back into a gym. So start with these basic movements, practice them, make sure you're really perfecting your form, full range of motion. And then you'll be able to move on to your isolation exercises and do them to the proper efficiency, and you will definitely notice that you're building muscle and strength quicker and more efficiently if you do it this way. Thank you for listening.